I took up running probably about 10 years ago now. Originally I played football, well mainly played football since about the age of about 4 or 5. Like playing for county level, played for Charlton, played for school, university. So when I was probably about 13, 14, when the school careers people come round, somebody was there from physiotherapy, so from the NHS, and basically I just took a liking instantly to that job, and I'm really lucky because I've continued throughout and loved it from day one, basically throughout from a degree, my master's. I've had my private practice for 8.5 years now, and I'll have been within the industry since about 2009. So if I do my maths, what's that, about 11 years? I got to fulfill a childhood dream and work for my football club. So I worked for Sunderland Football Club for 4.5 years, professional dancers, professional motocross. And then amongst all that, I've been quite lucky to be able to work with like theatre shows. So like off the top of my head, like Cats, Avenue Q, a few who come like Theatre Royal, Sunderland Royal. And then you've also got people like, I've worked with Lenny Henry, Little Mix, and a few people like that basically. Touch wood, I don't really get many injuries. And I like to think this is because I have that knowledge and that awareness that if anything's starting to tire, niggle, then I take that break sooner rather than later. But also, in order to avoid injuries, I do a lot of strength work, a lot of mobility work, and kind of looking at prevention element. If it's just literally a niggle and it's starting to, like I said, it's just starting, I would instantly reduce my intensity, have a couple of days rest. If you feel like you can do something that like deloads the area, so go for an easy bike ride, go for a swim, this is if you're a runner, then fantastic, and it's good for our mental health as well as our physical health, trying to keep something going, because I know a lot of us, we are addicted. But most importantly is to not push through these niggles. Static stretching, so the kind of stretches that we hold, don't actually benefit our performance at all pre-run. So these are the types, so the typical exercise where you're standing still, holding a stretch for 30 seconds, we want to be doing these after our run. If we look at before we go for our run and we want to enhance our performance and get better, then we want to be doing what we call dynamic stretches and dynamic mobility, promoting blood flow to the area ready to go, as opposed to a static stretch where we're kind of potentially changing like elasticity of tissues and things like that, which could be detrimental to our performance. With regard to running, I'd highly recommend with all my patients and all my friends and people who run that they take part in a strength routine as well. This doesn't have to mean going to the gym and lifting really heavy weights. It doesn't mean you have to go and do an hour a day. Literally 15-20 minutes a couple of times a week. It's so doable, but will massively, massively benefit not only your performance, but reduce your injury risk as well. So talking of the importance of strengthening exercises with running, there's 100 exercises we can go through, but we'll just show you 3 very important exercises to start you off, which we'll look at from the bottom up. So we'll look at kind of calf complex, so looking at ankle position. So some of you, if you're pronated through the feet, this is excellent, but also looking at calf injuries as well, looking into the knees and then looking into the hips and the importance of the glutes and that whole posterior chain in running. So to start with, first exercise is a calf raise. We've all done this before, your typical calf raise, but what we like to do instead is grab a ball. What you're going to do is place it between your heels, here to here. From here, you're going to grip, so you're going to squeeze your heels against the ball, so you're constantly getting that resistance through here. Then all you're going to do is raise up onto your tiptoes, up and down as high as you can onto your tiptoes. And I'd probably recommend starting off with maybe 3 sets of 10. The influence of the ball means that we're going to work both medial and lateral muscles simultaneously, as opposed to when we look at people's calf raises and they like to raise and they kind of haven't got that symmetry through the calves. Secondly, what we'll do is a squat, so a typical squat. So a lot of us will have done these before, but making sure our technique is key for this one. Always thinking our knees are staying with our feet, and if anything, we're pushing our knees out away from us. From here, we're putting the weight through our heels and we're sitting back. So just to show you from here, feet face forwards, knees are forwards, feet are just wider than shoulder width apart, and then from here we just drop down and then slowly back up. And then our third and final exercise will be one that I absolutely love for runners because that's what I call the runner's lunge. So for this one, we're working basically everything. Really thinking about exaggerating that running posture. So we don't want to be stooped through here. So just going through from top to bottom, shoulders back, chest tall, looking forwards, looking straight ahead. Weight through the back toe, and then we're going to drop this back knee down towards the floor. So from here, we drop down, and then as we drive up, we bring that knee nice and high. With this one, what we want to make sure we're avoiding is as we drive the knee, we don't want to cross the midline, okay? So making sure the knee is coming straight forwards. So from here, we drop down and we drive up, hold, drop down, up. So sports massage is very important as well, a big aspect of physiotherapy in terms of looking after their muscles, aiding kind of blood flow, aiding recovery, but also really good mentally as well. So I always find I personally would promote them and have them myself pre-race. So at the minute, as we all know, races are coming back. So races most weekends now, so a lot of us will benefit from having that pre-race massage. Probably one of the most important times to have it, but equally I'll have people who've just done the ultras recently, so there's been quite a few ultra marathons going on. So I've had a few of them recently coming in for their post race massage. Again, help them recover, help them try and walk a bit better as well. There's always a success story, which is why I love my job so much. People who've literally gone from barely being able to run, they come in, they do the rehab that I advise, now they're back running 10k and simple things like that. And then I've got, like I say, another population of patients like the total hip replacements, total knee replacements, and you've got them who I can't help but smile when they come in, and they've gone from barely being able to walk pre-op to now I've got them walking better than ever.